Kev, if we can touch on Super League matters in a bit, but I was going to ask you first of all how your preparations are going for your marathon challenge. But how on earth do you prepare for 7 marathons in 7 days?
Thanks, James. Just want to thank everybody for coming on. Just think to sort of get the awareness that we're trying to get for Rob, and the awareness for MND is really important. So to have you all on today when I know it's such a busy week with the grand final tomorrow, so thank you first of all. How do you prepare for it? Not quite sure. I feel like I've winged it a little bit, if I'm honest, James. I spent 20 years as a player being told what to do, so Phil's been brilliant, sort of with a lot of the logistics and behind the scenes stuff. We've got a pretty good team of people who are all going about trying to do their own little bit. But in terms of training, I tried to research as much as I could just to understand it. So I've ended up running a number of marathons this year now, 3 up until sort of October. And then as soon as I started, this started to be something we were going to pursue. The reading up on it was, it came back I needed to do 3 and 3 as a training run, which I did at the end of October, actually, as we turned into November. So that was really tough, doing 3 and 3. I think some of that was because just mentally getting my head right to be able to do it is for training, because you're a bit like, I know 7 and 7 is going to be different and a lot more difficult, but there's a reason why you're doing it. Whereas the 3 and 3, we're just getting out there and running for the sake of running, just so that I could make myself tired and understand what I was going to feel like. So that's probably been the best thing I've done. And then, just trying to tick over. The last few weekends in particular, tried to go for a decent run in the morning and then a long walk in an afternoon. So you're constantly working on tired legs. That's been the thought process, really.
What's going to get you through it?
Like I said, we've got a really good team. I think it's nice being back in that environment again, where there's a couple of us doing it. There's a couple on bikes. Phil's certainly involved. So the team is going to be a huge part of it. And then obviously Rob. And, you know, I built a great friendship with Doddy Weir over the last 10 months as well. So I met a number of sufferers. I've seen a number of stories and, been made aware of a number of people who have gone through some really tough times with MND. So certainly that, but not dwelling on it at all. Actually celebrating the good times and the memories I've had with Rob. So when it gets a bit dark during some of these runs and you start to question what on earth you're doing, I will be trying to remember some of the good times and funny moments that Rob brought us and has shared with us all.
There's plenty of those to keep you occupied. Has Rob made you aware of what he thinks of this absolutely epic challenge?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's been brilliant. He's I think he's been so overwhelmed by the support from everybody, and then I think sort of closer to home, Lindsay's done a number of different things now where she's tried to raise awareness, and a number of family members have, and then probably that next layer out is those guys he played with for all them years. And if you look at what Barry's done, what Keith's done, what JP's done, Kylie, although he's perhaps not done many challenges, he's certainly been a ringleader in trying to pull everyone together. And that group, Danny Maggs, Chev, Ryan Bailey, all those, Brett Delaney, all those sort of close group of friends, I've stood tall for Rob. And we have had a bit of a joke about it because obviously the 7 in 7 is all around Rob's squad number, and I am pretty glad that he didn't have somewhere in the 20s, but I have made that point to him. I've said, because he keeps telling me he'd do stuff for me, and I absolutely know he would. But when I saw him 2 weeks ago, I did say to him, would you have done 13 for me? And I never got an answer, but he did start laughing. So, but he's been great, James. He's so overwhelmed by all, as you know. He's quite well, we know he's very funny. We know he's, but at times he can be shy, and he doesn't crave the limelight. He doesn't crave the attention. He's a devoted family man who's quite happy, when the game had finished, to just get home and spend his time with his family. So he's bowled over by the support he's had.
So 7 marathons in 7 days. Which one's going to be the toughest? The first, the last, the middle?
Well, from reading up on it, I'm told the fifth. So, but we'll see. I found the 3 pretty tough, if I'm honest. So I think we'll see. I think throughout all of them, I've no doubt there'll be some dark moments. So that's why I'm really grateful that I've got a couple of mates who are running, a couple who are going to be on bikes, and obviously Phil's with us. So at different times when we need a bit of a pick-me-up, hopefully we can provide that for each other. And that's what the great thing about being back in the team is. We're there to help each other.
I'm sure you'll smash it. I'm sure you will. Super League, we now know, will start on March the 11th, 2021. Is that going to give you enough time?
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise when I got that this morning. I think we were all still expecting it to be late March, early April, but I think it gives us plenty of time. We've probably got a bigger pre-season than we've had for a number of years, so we get a chance to let everybody rest up, and that's not just physically. I think mentally, it's been really tough for the players. They've had to make more sacrifices than they probably normally do, certainly away from the pitch, and give them a chance to refresh and come back, but we'll have enough time.
What about Friday's grand final? Where's your money going?
I think it's really close. I think it's great that it's the top 2 teams, the teams that finish top of the ladder. There's a number of different stories. I always think the teams that have the best narrative or the best story or the best reason to win often comes out on top, but they've both got 2 legends who will retire at the end of this in Sean and James. So they've both got a reason why, and absolutely there's always a reason why to win a trophy, but if you know what I mean, there's a deeper rooted for both of them. Too close to call, I reckon. I mean, I'm sitting on the fence, James.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It is absolutely too close to call. And it's a shame, having had stellar careers, that one of those players that you've mentioned won't enjoy that fairy tale finish that you certainly had.
Yeah, it is. It's a shame for one of them. They both had unbelievable careers. I've been fortunate enough to play alongside both of them, and they're great off the field. They've been great leaders. They've been fantastic players, and there'll be a loss to our competition. I know James has only been back a number of months, but I think he's certainly added to it, and they'll both be missed.
Just finally for me, Kev, where are you in terms of plans for next season for Leeds in terms of retention, recruitment? Are you where you want to be right now?
Well, I think if you put it into perspective, I know we're very, very close to the end of November now, but in a normal year, we'd be sort of early October, the second weekend in October, and you probably feel like at the minute it's a rush and we're behind where we should be. But actually, in terms of the season start date, which we have now, we're probably where we would have been normally. I think there's been some real difficulties with recruitment. I think a lot of clubs have found that. Some clubs have done some really good business as well, actually, but a lot of clubs have found that. And for us in particular, COVID hit the club pretty hard, and that has meant some difficulties with budgets and waiting for those to unfold. And then obviously when we look at the overseas market and the NRL, players are really tentative about making the step over here at the minute. Now, I know there's been some good signs. I think the Saints have made a couple. But I think it's been really, really difficult in a market where people look at the UK and how we've handled COVID and the numbers over here and lockdown and sort of the dark months over December, January and February when normally they'd come across. They're looking at it and I don't think it's all that attractive for them at the minute. And normally you get a player at the right value at the minute. They're all very overpriced, and so it has made things really, really difficult. And I think we're really conscious as a club that our culture and our environment is absolutely heading in the right direction. It's as strong as I've seen it for a number of years. So we've got to make sure we do our own work. We've got to make sure we bring the right people in. We don't want anything to derail that. We want to be better next year, and we've got to make sure we get that right. I'll also add as well, James, we've got some wonderful young players as well. They need to play and progress like they've done this year. And if then we fill our squad up with players who could potentially block their path, it'd be the wrong thing to do. So it's been a real balancing act. We're not where we want to be in terms of recruitment at all. Retention that we needed to do in the short term, we've done. We've got a number of players who'll be out of contract at the end of 2021, and we'll work through that over this next couple of months. But I think our attention at the minute is on possibly one or two recruits.
Does that mean talk of Andrew Fafita potentially, but probably premature at this point in time?
Yeah, I'd say that's premature. Is not a name that has been put across my desk. I know certainly from a media perspective, I have seen it out there, but it's not somebody that's been mentioned to us at all. I don't normally comment on speculation, but I could probably tell you outright it's a no from us.